So, Dr. Stepanskyi, you are a microbiologist, but your work is taking place in a country, Ukraine, that has been in war for several years.
Il microbiota è composto da trilioni di microrganismi che vivono principalmente nell'intestino. Quindi anche se non hai nessuno, non sentirti mai solo.
How you think this conflict impacted your research and your laboratory activities?
Thank you for the question, Manuele. And really, the war affected research infrastructure and access to essential supplies, and the continual scientific work. And also, laboratories faced the shortage of reagents, equipment, and even electricity. But many researchers have been displaced. This is a pretty big issue, in my opinion. And securing funding has become more difficult, and the constant threat to life makes it challenging to focus on scientific endeavors. And also, people are experiencing several mental health issues due to prolonged stress and uncertainty. And it, of course, affects productivity and motivation as well. And additionally, I would say many scientists seeking better job opportunities abroad. And of course, it's leading to significant brain drain. But in my opinion, despite all these challenges, we try to adapt, we try to continue, and we try to do our best in terms of microbiology research and support science, support research, support our country.
Good. And from a really strict microbiological perspective, have you noticed any significant changes in microbial population due to the war? Maybe, in environmental samples or in the hospital settings, or even if sometimes you do in the human microbiome?
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. And the war conditions, they created unique environment for microbial shifts as well. For example, in hospitals, we often observe the increasing of antimicrobial resistance, antibiotic-resistant infections. In my opinion, it's due to overcrowding, limited sanitation, as well as disrupted treatment regimens and so on. And as you mentioned before, in environmental samples, destruction of infrastructure and contamination of water sources, we have altered also microbial ecosystems. And of course, it's increasing the risk of different outbreaks. Also within the human microbiome, prolonged stress, malnutrition, as well as disrupted healthcare access, all this may lead to imbalances affecting overall health and immunity. And one of the very interesting topic that I really interested in, this is like mental health and microbiome, because probably you know about microbiota brain axis,
gut-brain axis, yes,
gut-brain axis, and so on. So this is very interesting topic. I think the future research can spread light for this topic more, because we faced with huge amount of dysbiosis, disruption of normal microbiota, and this is of course affect both and physical and mental well-being. And I want to highlight one topic. We have begun to pay more attention to military microbiology and antimicrobial resistant cases, and as war-related injuries and mass hospitalization create I would say, the ideal conditions for antimicrobial, for resistant pathogen to spread. And the one of the reasons is also lack of proper infection prevention and control measures. And addressing these challenges requires urgent intervention, surveillance, and I would say international collaboration, because, as you probably know, pathogen, I mean, in general, viruses, bacteria, they respect no borders, no government, so they can spread very quickly, very fast across the country, across the Europe, and across the world as well.
And before you mentioned the military microbiology, what do you mean by military microbiology? So the composition of military personnel, or you mean during the war?
I mean during the war, because the war, it's like a traumatic epidemics. And for example, in my city, in Dnipro, it's 1 million population city. It's very close to war zone. Every civilian hospital works as a military hospital as well. So we have a lot of injured soldiers, servicemen, or people who were injured according to drone or missile attack, I mean civilians. So this means that the people, military microbiology, I mean the people who were injured by military, I mean weapon or ammunition, or missiles or drones and so on. And these attacks happen every day and every night. So especially in my city, we face it pretty often.
Exactly. So obviously, you have experienced problem in supply chains, but have you ever experienced even issues in the access on scientific publication networks, and obviously even difficulties in obtaining grants that maybe before they were released easier to your country?
Yeah. So lack of money, it's a huge problem. And also other big challenges, it's laboratory supplies, to maintaining consistent research findings, and I mean ensuring safety for scientists. And of course, we face the huge lack of money. I mean, on the national level, it's not only my laboratory or my city, and as well, it disrupted some logistics, and all this, I would say, make some difficulties to obtain the result. But in the same time, we faced some problem, like a lack of internet. So we have some problems to get information, but I never met the problems with, I mean, publication, in terms of lack of possibility to reach some journal and so on. But lack of money, of course, it's a huge problem. But despite all this, these obstacles, for example, open access initiatives and international partnerships have been invaluable in keeping research alive. So, for example, some organizations or some universities, some funds, they proposed to publish without money. For example, I published one of the article, I mean, without payment, and in very good academic journal. So it depends on, but of course we faced, I mean, all Ukrainian scientists faced with lack of money and lack some opportunities due to, I mean, financial and other kind of restriction. But also in the same time, some international professional association like European Society Clinical Microbiologists, Infection Diseases Specialists, as well as American Society Microbiology. So they propose like a free membership for Ukrainian scientists, and this is, I would say, this is very huge support for Ukrainian scientists.
Okay. And during all the period of the war and today, you are keep doing research.
Yeah.
And how I can't imagine, in our different setup, obviously, we are very disappointed when an experiment is failing and so on. But in your context, where obviously you are surrounded by something that is occupying your mind, in a different way that the protocol or the failed experiment, how you can keep, the curiosity to keep doing research in that particular context that I think is impacting obviously heavily your mind as a researcher.
Thank you. This is absolutely brilliant question. We do not only like research for research. We try to do some research that could be useful for people, for my country. So the ability to contribute this to solutions with the improving infection control or improving or studying microbial resistance or support public health. This keeps me and my colleagues motivated. So this is my personal opinion. And personally, I see or I consider research not as a isolated like a academic pursuit, but I would say it's like like a tool for resilience and rebuilding. And every breakthrough, no matter how small, so we save lives to protect health in modern environment. This is very important for us. So this is like a very big motivation for me and for many Ukrainian scientists.
Good. And do you think that there are any observation that emerged as a direct consequence of the war? I mean, scientifically or in terms of discoveries, is like if it is a scenario without the war?
Yeah, we have observed some shift. I mean, huge shifts in bacterial resistant patterns. So this is a lot of publication in this topic, as well as my team. And there is also a rise in war-related infections, such as multi-drug resistant wound infections from combat injuries. And I would say another big problem that we faced, it's disruption of vaccination program due to different reasons, due to safety, war, lack of electricity, cold chain supplies, and especially I would say disinformation and misinformation, because we faced not only like a direct military intervention, but it's like a hybrid war. So they use our enemies use different strategies to weaken us. For example, this is disinformation, misinformation in terms of vaccination. So it's leading to rematch vaccine preventable disease as well. So disinformation about vaccines, treatments, and public health measures causes serious harm for our people and for our country. And another.
Sorry to interrupt you. So mainly you are saying that there are it's like if there are two kinds of war. One is with the military, of course. Yeah. But the other one is also in general of misinformation, and one that obviously is targeting you specifically and scientifically is disinformation on the vaccine prevention campaign, normal vaccines, I assume. And now there is this movement that they are mainly starting to. So from one end, it's difficult to provide vaccine for all the issues on logistic you explained. But from the other end, there is also part of the population that they don't want, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the modern wars, it's not like like you mentioned before, like an only military intervention. This is a combination of different factors that can lead to problems in your I mean enemy or so on. So this is economic pressure, I mean economic war, and as well as the attack on public health infrastructures, and of course this is informational war. So this is a lot of different misinformation and disinformation in social media, and especially that connected with Russian sites or pro-Russians, leader of opinions, you know. So they do very big harm for a lot of people, you know. So for example, they may make discreditation of vaccination in general or specific vaccine, and people refuse vaccinate, and it leads to lack of herd immunity. So these people very I would say they very I mean they so this lead to increasing the risk of different outbreaks, especially outbreaks of infection of vaccine preventable diseases like measles, like a poliomyelitis, and so on, and so diphtheria, and you know, we know that the risk of vaccine preventable diseases during the war increases dramatically. So this is hepatitis B, this is tetanus, and so on and so on. So this is one of the tools of the war, I would say.
You know, several times biology has been used, you know, as a tool to to create weapons, you know, biological weapons.
Yeah.
During the wartime, this, in your opinion, increased, or how is your feeling on this topic?
Very, very good question. So I don't have specific proofs of using biological weapon as I mean in classic terms. But as you mentioned before, misinformation in terms of infection, disease, or myths supporting different myths, or misinformation about biological weapon from Russian side. Yes, we face this, and this is I would say this is a huge tool of war as well. So as I mentioned before, misinformation, disinformation about vaccines, infection disease, and biothreats is known as a tactic in war as well. So there are also real concerns about spread of pathogens due to also destroyed healthcare infrastructures, because Russian missiles, Russian drones, they bombed hospitals as well, and microbiology laboratories as well, in my city and many other cities, and so on. And one of the wicked tools of this like a propaganda, this is anti-vax propaganda. So we can say that in these terms, our enemies use all kind of science or pseudoscience to do harm for us. But I don't have, I mean, specific proofs or information that some biological weapon were used in this war.
Yeah, and you as a Ukrainian scientist, facing obviously all the issues that we are discussing right now, if you have the chance to take all your research laboratories and knowledge and do the research in another country that is not in war, you will consider these, or what do you think if someone will offer you this option to leave and continue the research somewhere else?
This is a very good question, very tricky. You know, I would answer that Ukraine needs scientists now more than ever, because of course, while I mean full funding or stability, as you told, or in good lab in another country may offer, I mean, personal profits or personal comfort, the impact of scientific research is, I mean, greatest, whereas it is most needed. So we now see that many European and American scientists, microbiologists come to Ukraine and support us and provide different programs and so on. So another issue, another problem, this is that my country, Ukraine, is facing a human capital catastrophe. So a lot of young researchers, a lot of practical microbiologists and medical doctors and healthcare workers. They looking for, I mean, better conditions, better job, and so on. So this is like a drain brain, and I would say this can be like a disaster for Ukrainians' future as well. So I would answer that I'm gonna stay and try to do my best for Ukrainian science, and I don't know, science is not just about recovery; it's about survival as well. So I repeat that Ukraine needs scientists now more than ever.
Okay, so thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Dr. Stepanskyi, for all what we exchanged so far. And I hope to see you soon, even in scientific collaboration. No?
It's my pleasure.